Hey everybody, this is my first time using a megaphone, so so my name's LeClair. I'm 15 years old, and I am here in part because my parents told me I shouldn't be. They were sure to have some choice words and disapproving glances from me when I told them where I would be today. And when I told them that I would be speaking here, it wasn't one of those things like, oh yeah, that's lovely, she's actually doing something productive with her life. No, it was a series of exasperated sighs and a make sure you get your facts straight. And so I give you the facts. In the 3 years since the Paris Agreement, big banks have funneled $1.9 trillion into fossil fuel industries, and by far the most funds have come from JPMorgan Chase. They financed $67 billion worth of environmental devastation, human rights violations, and planetary destruction in the last 3 years. This sum of money is 68% higher than just the second biggest contributor. So in this, Chase Bank is outmatched. JPMorgan Chase is also the only bank that is financing all 4 major tar sands expansion companies, including but not limited to TransCanada's Keystone XL pipeline. So they're funding the Keystone XL pipeline. If that sounds familiar, that's great, because Chase is also the world's biggest banker of Arctic oil and gas, ultra-deep water oil and gas, and liquefied natural gas. Then they're the U.S.'s biggest banker of tar sands oil and coal mining. Now I have to be fair here, they're not the world's biggest banker of fracking. They're number 2, just behind Wells Fargo. In total, JPMorgan Chase has funded $196 billion of fossil fuel expansion. Now some may say, well, it's just their jobs, and every bank finances fossil fuels. That's true, pretty much every bank does finance fossil fuels. But as you've just heard, JPMorgan Chase is by far the worst. And no, it's not their jobs to finance fossil fuel expansion. Love flipping cases. They have a responsibility, a moral responsibility, to avoid financing projects that pose serious and existential risk to the future of life on this planet. They can fund whoever they want, and right now they're choosing to fund an industry that is, without a shadow of a doubt, destroying our ability to live on this planet. But no one is above the truth. We know that. That's why we're here. We're here to hold them accountable for the irreversible climate catastrophe they have insured us. Chase Bank has made very sure that the fossil fuel industry has enough money to keep obliterating our world. They've made sure that oil drills and fracking wells spring to life. They've funded the extraction of our planet's lifeblood. They have funded the fact that I will never choose to have children because I don't want them growing up in the wasteland that our planet will become. But my friends, be as it may, we have not yet lost this fight. Not yet. When we have forgotten what it is to be human, what it is to care for one another, then and only then is when we have lost this fight. So JPMorgan Chase doesn't care about us or our futures. They've made that abundantly clear. But we are gathered here today because we care for one another. Because we care about each other's futures enough to band together in the face of opposition and take back what is ours. Oh, okay. My friends, in that simple act of humanity, we have already won. Chase Bank is funding a losing battle. And I know how hard it is in all of this to find hope. So I want you to imagine something just for a minute. And it won't be difficult because you've already been there. When you stand up to face a giant and you can see the earth smoldering in its grip, when the land around you is barren and charred and the seas have boiled and the air has turned to mace, when you stare up into the face of that great beast and all you can feel is fear. Well, I feel it too. Then perhaps the only thing you can find solace in this moment of planetary crisis. As we stare down the giants who have stolen our futures from us, is that you are not alone. Look around. None of us would be here today if we didn't believe, even just a little bit, in our own ability to bring about justice. And all of that collective belief from all of you and from the millions of others like you around the world, all that collective belief will prevail. Woo! All of the hope we gather here today is stronger than Chase Bank or anyone else will ever be. Our hope will protect us. Because no matter how powerful, how rich, and how egotistical companies like Chase become, they always forget one thing: that we can see the truth. Woo! They take us to be pawns in their corporate spreadsheets, blips on the radar, but my friends, we are the revolutionaries who will spark the fire that will bring light to a new day. We are the ones who declare that this new day is coming, and we are the ones who will bring it about. And we are so nearly there. The corporations and industries who are responsible for the climate crisis and responsible for funding it, they've taken everything away from us. They've turned their backs on us, they've locked their doors on us, belittled us, discredited and defaced us. They've done everything they can to silence us. But now they are starting to see that no matter what they do to try to stop us, we are here to stay. Woo! They finally see that the real power is the power of the people. The real power is ours. So they're doing the only thing left they know how to do. They're lashing out. They're fighting back. And the fight that they're bringing is brutal. They have beaten us down. As a country, they've ripped us apart. They've turned us against each other. And the destruction that they have funded has taken so very many lives. But as a very wise man once said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.